The 2022 IndyCar season finally begins today. I've been very excited for this for a while and honestly cannot wait for the green flag to drop. I've made a handful of IndyCar videos during the off season, however I haven't yet made a preview video, which is kind of something I wanted to do before we go racing in St. Pete. So I decided to get it out for you lot now. I've really pushed this video pretty late, apologies for that, I've been so damn busy and honestly feeling a bit drained in general, but hey, I'm a teenager. Anyway, welcome to a quick preview / overview ahead of the 2022 IndyCar season. The 2022 IndyCar season will see 17 races all around America, with one round taking place in Toronto, Canada. The series will be visiting many infamous tracks such as Indianapolis, Long Beach and Laguna Seca, making for a challenging season for the participants. 32 world-class drivers and Santino Ferrucci will take part in the series, with a handful of drivers only participating in a few rounds, not including the Indy 500. I shall take you through the teams with the drivers competing to give you all a good idea as to how the grid will line up. AJ Foyt Enterprises. Drivers racing for AJ Foyt include Dalton Kellett and two rookies, Kyle Kirkwood and Tatiana Calderon. Calderon won't be attending every round, however, leaving the door open for another unconfirmed driver to fill the empty seat, Andretti. Andretti has had an incredibly strong lineup going into the 2022 season, featuring the Phoenix Romain Grosjean, Colton Herta, Alexander Rossi and Devlin DeFrancesco, and Marco Andretti for the Indy 500 only. This lineup is very promising for the team, with heaps of talent and arguably the championship favourite in Colton Herta, Arrow McLaren SP. McLaren's lineup hasn't changed too much since last season, running Pato O'Ward and Felix Rosenqvist, with Juan Pablo Montoya taking part in rounds 5 and 6. I'd say that Pato has an incredibly good shot at the title this season, and honestly, I don't think he'd really settle for anything else. Chip Ganassi. Chip Ganassi's lineup hasn't changed since last year either, with Scott Dixon, Alex Palou, Marcus Ericsson, Jimmy Johnson and Tony Kanaan for the Indy 500 only. Alex Palou will want to defend his championship, so he is certainly a driver to look out for. I must also mention that I believe that Jimmy Johnson could be more competitive this season and score better results, but qualifying in St. Pete doesn't really back me up there, I'm afraid. Dale Coyne. Takuma Sato and rookie David Malukas will be driving for Dale Coyne Racing in 2022. It is my personal opinion that Malukas could have a good chance to be Rookie of the Year this season, along with maybe Carl Kirkwood. So yeah, they're ones to keep an eye on. Ed Carpenter Racing. Connor Daly will be racing full-time in IndyCar this season alongside young hotshot Rinus VeeKay. VeeKay has great potential in the sport and unfortunately broke his collarbone last year, so his results fell off basically. I believe that this year he can begin achieving some outstanding results and demonstrating his full potential. Also, Ed Carpenter will be racing for the team at the Indy 500, as per usual. Juncos Hollinger Racing. I've mentioned Juncos quite a bit on this channel recently, simply because it's generally a pretty inspirational team. Former F2 driver Callum Ilott will drive for the outfit this season, which I'm extremely excited to see, all explored in this video here. He will not have a teammate, however, due to the team's budget. Meyer Shank. Meyer Shank Racing has an awesome lineup this year, featuring Simon Pagenaud and Helio Castroneves. This is fantastic to see. I reckon it will become a fan favourite very quickly, especially after winning last year's 500 and this year's 24 Hours of Daytona. Rahal Letterman Lanigan. Graham Rahal, Jack Harvey and Christian Lundgaard will race for the Rahal Letterman Lanigan team this season, forming a pretty strong lineup. Lundgaard will be interesting to watch since he is still an F1 junior, bridging the gap between the sports to a certain extent. Team Penske. Penske will be running one fewer car this year, but will retain the same lineup, consisting of Joseph Newgarden, Will Power and Scott McLaughlin. Newgarden is a championship contender pretty often, so don't rule him out for the championship this year, whilst Power and McLaughlin fulfill the front row of the grid going into the race today, so Penske are looking pretty strong. Dreyer and Rainbold. Finally, we have Dreyer and Rainbold, who will only attend the Indy 500 this season, with Sage Karam and Santino Ferrucci. So that was a short rundown of the grid ahead of the 2022 IndyCar season. I made a predictions video a couple of weeks ago, which I would recommend watching afterwards. I'm eagerly awaiting this evening, and cannot wait for the green flag to drop in St. Pete. If you have a chance to watch it, I highly recommend you do, since it's always good fun watching IndyCar. Anyway, I'll leave it here, I hope you all enjoyed. If there are any other questions that you lot have, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, sub to the channel or whatever, blah 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 blah, boring outro stuff. I'll see you guys next week.